anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Openly gay FIFA referee Igor Benevenuto called officiating the gay games a full circle moment, celebrating LGBTQ visibility and highlighting ongoing barriers for openly gay male professional soccer players.
California approved $26 million to protect transgender youth in healthcare. A $30 million providing funding gaps for LGBTQ advocates, praised the investment, calling it life-saving support amid federal funding cuts.
Pentagon data shows record erectile dysfunction prescriptions for service members in 2025, while the military continues restricting gender-affirming care.
A new study suggests TikTok's algorithm may identify users as queer before they do. This is raising concerns about privacy, algorithmic outing, and platform responsibility for protecting LGBTQ+ community safety.
Maine Senate nominee Graham Platner faces growing calls to withdraw after sexual assault allegations. This has prompted the Christopher Street Project, an LGBT+ organization, to rescind its endorsement.
All this important LGBTQ+ news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 12 million views. We're proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family. There's no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Tuesday, July 7th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Happening Out South Florida. In 2026, the magazine celebrating 41 years of LGBTQ experience in the Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ television stories.
We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, and television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Robert Hadley. Reverend Hadley is a deacon with Holy Angels National Catholic Church and part-time with Hotspots Happening Out as an event manager and occasional photographer. Welcome to the show, Robert.
It's good to be back.
Let's welcome anchor Luis Rodriguez. Born and raised in Miami, Luis is deeply rooted in South Florida's LGBTQ+ community. A graduate of the University of South Florida, he serves as office manager at Twist nightclub in Miami Beach. Dedicated to service, Lewis has volunteered with numerous organizations and currently sits on the board of directors for both Miami Beach Pride and the Outshine LGBTQ+ Film Festival. Welcome to the show, Lewis.
Thank you.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Gregg Shapiro. An inductee to the Chicago LGBTQ Hall of Fame, Gregg is an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run a variety of LGBTQ+ publications and websites. Welcome to the show, Gregg.
Well, thank you for that warm welcome, y'all. Happy National Day of Rock and Roll to everyone. I gotta make that thing. There you go. There it is. I'm Gregg Shapiro, and let's queer up sports. Out gay FIFA referee Igor Benevenuto celebrates first gay games after years of hiding. Brazilian referee Igor Benevenuto spoke with Outsports about officiating at his first gay games. He said this marks a full circle moment after once being discouraged from taking part in LGBTQ sporting events. Benevenuto is the first active FIFA-ranked male referee from South America to publicly come out as gay in 2022. He recently officiated the 11-a-side soccer tournament at the Gay Games in Valencia, Spain, as part of the International Gay and Lesbian Football Association referee team. Benevenuto said, quote, "I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have been here and give visibility to the LGBTQ community," end quote. He believes visibility is increasing with more openly LGBTQ referees and club executives helping challenge long-standing barriers. He described officiating at the Gay Games as especially meaningful after previously being advised not to referee queer competitions in Brazil to avoid public attention. Benevenuto said LGBTQ sporting events continue to play a vital role by creating safe, visible spaces where people can compete without fear of prejudice. He also praised recent LGBTQ representation in sports overall and said progress, while gradual, is helping transform a culture that has long been hostile to LGBTQ athletes. Well, I'd like to begin by congratulating FIFA referee Igor Benevenuto on his full circle moment. It's stories like this, though, that make me wish I care more about sports ball, but I just don't have it in me. What do you all think about it?
I'm surprised he's first openly out one. I participated in the Gay Games and the first out games in Montreal, and I'm certain there were gay referees. They were publicly noticed about this because now it's more common to talk about it. So I'm glad that he made it, especially for Brazil, as part of that.
Yep. It's always a shame that they have to wait till they're done with their regular sports before they participate with any of the gay games and gay sports. And executive people saying they don't want to stop. They want to stop talk from the public.
Right.
We want more talk from the public. We want more participation, more visibility. But people from the inside stopping them is not helping people from the outside looking in.
And what about like the gay fans, right? There's got to be gay soccer fans. So you think they would like to see not only that the referees are gay, but that there were gay soccer players themselves on the field. So stop being mean to those gay people. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.
I'm Reverend Hadley, and let's queer up politics. California budget sets aside $26 million to protect trans youth care after federal funding were cut. California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a state budget that includes a $26 million one-time fund to help protect access to health care for transgender youth. This decision comes following concerns that federal funding cuts would limit services. The budget also sets aside another $30 million to help providers address funding gaps after the Trump administration reduced support for the state's Medi-Cal program and other revenue sources. The funding was added after lawmakers restored it during the budget negotiations. Newsom's original proposal did not include a gender-affirming care fund, but LGBTQ+ advocacy groups had also urged the state lawmakers to include the funding, saying it was needed to protect medically necessary care for transgender, gender-expensive, and intersex Californians. Newsom said, quote, For decades, we've been told that the government has to choose between balancing the books and investing in people, end quote. California provided this is false choice. Advocates welcome the final budget, according to Kathleen Molig, Director of Trans Family Support Services. This historic investment will help keep accessible support for providers doing the life-saving work and remind trans youth people in California will not abandon them. I applaud that. Having been our fiancé is transgender, we're very in tune with what's going on in the world and things about that. And for California to do something remarkable, we applaud Gavin Newsom.
Yep. It's great because, a lot of these people that are already under care, under medication, can't just stop the medication cold turkey. It's a process, and it's more harmful to stop once you're in the process than it is to start the process. And this keeps people safe and keeps them and releases some of the handcuffs some of these healthcare providers have been put on by the government.
Thank you to California and my former home state, Illinois, for continuing to protect transgender youth and for providing safe haven to members of the LGBTQ community. I know it's unlikely, but I sincerely hope that other states, including the disaster that is Florida, that they take note and change for the better. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.
I'm Luis Rodriguez, and let's queer up health. Pentagon issued record erectile dysfunction prescriptions while restricting trans care. According to newly released Pentagon data obtained by the New York Post, the U.S. military issued a record 108,000 prescriptions for erectile dysfunction medications to active duty service members in 2025. The data also shows that nearly 640,000 prescriptions were dispensed across the broader military community, including veterans and military dependents. The figures come as the U.S. continues to enforce a policy barring military clinics and insurance from covering gender-affirming care, including veterans. LGBTQ plus advocates have argued that erectile dysfunction medications for cisgender men could also be viewed as a form of gender-affirming care. In February, Pete Hegseth announced a policy banning gender-affirming medical care for transgender service members and preventing new enlistments by anyone with a, quote, history of gender dysphoria, unquote. That policy is being challenged in the case of Doe versus Department of Defense, filed by GLAD Law and the National Center for LGBTQ Rights on behalf of the military families. This kind of strikes me. And always, when I see this growth in services and this cost, I always go back to who's getting the money.
Yeah.
What insurance company is providing? Where's the money coming from to spend money on this when they took money away from vaccinations? Yeah. So they'd rather have them at attention than healthy. So.
That's right. Salute.
I see that the common phrase is salute, soldier.
That's right. Well, Whiskey Dick Pete Hegseth is likely the poster boy for erectile dysfunction, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pitiful Pete and his father figure Dirty Donald also own large shares of Pfizer stock. See, that's who's making money, because Pfizer makes Viagra. It's just another example of the ongoing and endless grift. Seriously. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight. I'm Gregg Shapiro, and let's queer up gay culture. Study says TikTok may know you're queer before you do. A new study suggests TikTok's recommendation algorithm may identify some users as queer before they have fully realized or embraced their own identity. Published in the academic journal Gender, Place, and Culture, the research is based on 20 in-depth interviews with LGBTQ plus adults in 2 Australian metropolitan areas. Participants, ages 18 to 60, described how they used privacy settings, multiple accounts, and anonymous browsing to explore their identities online without fear of being outed or harassed. Researchers found that TikTok's recommendation system, which responds to user engagement such as likes, follows, or even how long someone watches a video, often appeared to categorize users by gender or sexuality. Lead author Dr. Justin Ellis of the University of Newcastle's School of Law and Justice said, quote, "Several participants told us the algorithm knew they were queer before they did. Algorithmic outing shows how deeply digital systems are embedded in everyday life. If platforms are going to identify who their users are, they also need to take responsibility for how and where that identity becomes visible to ensure community safety." End quote. I am queerly proud to say that I don't indulge in TikTok's time-wasting trap. But honestly, that's a truly frightening story and a lesson for those who are still concerned about keeping their identities private. Are either of you TikTok?
No, I'm not on TikTok
don't
either.
do TikTok, but
My partner does a lot. TikTok for the business.
I don't do that, but it goes to the larger thing. They also look to see who you like politically, see who you like socially, and how you deal with the workplace. So it expands to other places that they shouldn't just keep it personal.
Yeah, so
It's not
damn
just
algorithms.
It's not just TikTok. All the formats are using it.
Right.
I just searched for a new version of Liturgy of the Hours, and now I'm getting bombarded with different ways apps to look up and ways to. Sorry, there's the Book of Common Prayer is the main one. After that, the Catholic Book of Liturgies. I don't need to be bombarded.
Right, because you already know it.
I look for something new. And
You got it.
bombarded.
There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.
I'm Reverend Hadley, and let's queer up gay politics. LGBTQ plus rights groups withdraw support for Graham Platner amid sexual assault allegations. Maine Democratic U.S. Senate nominee Graham Platner is facing mounting pressure to end his campaign after the Christopher Street Project rescinded its endorsement following a report allegedly he sexually assaulted a former partner. Christopher Street, the project's only group in the country dedicated to electing champions of the transgender community. According to Politico, Jenny Resicott, a Maine resident who previously dated Platner, alleges he entered her home uninvited in 2021 and forced himself on her after she repeatedly told him to stop. Less than 2 weeks later, after endorsing Platner as a championship for transgender rights, the Christopher Street Project reversed its course. Christopher Street Project's executive director, Tyler Hack, said, quote, "Given the seriousness of the allegations and our commitment to the believing survivors, we believe the most responsible path forward to be for Graham Platner to step aside. We're calling him to do so and are rescinding our endorsement in this race," unquote. Several Democratic leaders, including Representatives Ro Khanna, Richie Torres, and Senator Ruben Gallego, also withdrew their support or declined support for Platner. Platner denied an accusation in a video posted to social media, saying, quote, "Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false," unquote. The controversy comes just weeks after Platner won Maine's Democratic Senate primary and launched his campaign against Republican Senator Susan Collins in a race that could help determine control of the U.S. Senate. Under Maine law, Democrats can replace Platner on the ballot only if he withdraws by July 13th. This guy's is lunatic to start with. The weird tattoos, his behavior. It sounds more Republican than anything else, but it's right. I'm glad Christopher Street took the action against him quickly.
It doesn't mention whether any legal action was taken
No, it doesn't.
on this case, on the allegations that he's.
Right. I mean, is there like a police record? Is that what you're asking? Is there?
How far it's gone?
Right. Well, you can also add Bernie Sanders' name to the list of people who want him to step aside. And I mean, the damage is done, and it's really hard to imagine Platner's played campaign surviving this latest allegation. I mean, we still need someone out there. Is there someone out there that can beat Susan
And I
Collins?
hope he does resign so they can appoint a appropriate person.
If he goes, who would be the person that they would nominate to take his place?
I don't know.
They can
As they
replace
say,
it.
as Maine goes, so goes the nation.
I know. Well, hopefully something good comes of this. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Heartstopper creator Alice Oseman says, quote, "It's okay to want that happy ending," end quote. As Heartstopper reaches its final chapter, creator Alice Oseman is reflecting on the legacy of the beloved LGBTQ+ story ahead of Heartstopper Forever, premiering on Netflix July 17th. Oseman said the series was always meant to end with Nick leaving for university, calling the memory book ending "The One." Looking back on the past decade, quote, "It's okay to want that happy ending," quote, saying the story was created to show that there's always light at the end of the tunnel for queer youth. Oseman also described saying goodbye to the cast, including Joe Locke and Kit Connor, as bittersweet after more than 10 years with the characters. Heartstopper Volume 6 by Alice Oseman is out now. I can't believe it's been 10 years, first of all. It's like, what? And I love that the story was created to show that there's always light at the end of the tunnel for queer youth.
I hope one message as a minister is look at the positive things. Say affirming things. Always look at affirming things. I'm glad the story is about the light at the end of the tunnel.
And I'm glad it focused on relationships. Right. The relationships can last and can go forward and can be affirming and good between other people and helps people grow.
Fantastic. That is an LGBTQ 1 Minute News story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.
More queer 1 minute news. Let's queer up the worldview. Steam search in China reportedly blocks LGBTQ+ game tags. This raising censorship concerns. Screenshots shared on and Twitter showed Steam's Chinese interface displaying a warning that the content violates local laws and regulations, and it cannot be displayed when users search for LGBTQ+ tags. Reports suggest the issues affect search and filtering tools, not the games themselves. Users say that queer titles can still be found and purchased through other browsing methods. Valve, which operates Steam, has not publicly commented on the issue or reported to confirm cause of the error message. The reports have been renewed discussions about how global platforms navigate China's censorship rules, where LGBT+ representation remains heavily restricted despite homosexuality being decriminalized in 1997. You know, it's the government's choice what they want to do. I have no problems with that. It does prevent people from learning with each other. It's a government. You're stuck with that. And I hate to say that, but it's a shame it happens.
It's stopping the tags, but it's not stopping them from getting the tag. It's just giving them another labyrinth to go through to get to the information that they want or are looking for.
Well, I'm not a gamer, so this is all Mandarin to me. That is an LGBTQ 1 Minute News story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the worldview. Indonesia to teach anti-LGBTQ lessons in religious schools. Indonesia's Religious Affairs Ministry says it will introduce education aimed at preventing what it calls, quote, LGBTQ culture, unquote, into religious school curricula and create a special task force to oversee the initiative. Deputy Religious Affairs Minister Romo Muhammad Sarafi said, quote, the prevention of LGBTQ culture will become part of the ministry's work through educational materials for children, unquote. The campaign will also use religious concessions, Friday sermons, and community study groups. The announcement follows a 2025 presidential regulation that classifies the, quote, spread of LGBTQ culture, unquote, as non-military threat, though it does not explain why. if it's a religious study or religious class, stick to the religious study, to what the core is of that religion and what it teaches. And this is the government stepping in and adding something that's not in the core of it. So it's just adding more to the educational, that interference into the meaning of what their religious teaching is supposed to be.
Yeah, I saw this as the religion keeps their core. That's fine. You do what is appropriate. That's where I'm glad it's an independent Catholic Church. We're so welcoming. Our teachings are God loves everyone who they are. So we're proud of that point.
Well, it's pretty frightening, I have to tell you. And Indonesia is just another place that we can add to the growing list of travel destinations in which we should not be spending our LGBTQ money, right? I mean, LGBTQ folks love to travel the world. So let's just add this to the places not to visit in the future. That is an LGBTQ 1 Minute news story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight. LGBTQ 1 Minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Milwaukee honors M&M Club owner for landmark role in LGBTQ visibility. Milwaukee leaders honor former M&M Club owner Bob Schmidt for his pioneering contributions to LGBTQ visibility. The iconic bar, which operated for 30 years before closing in 2006, became a symbol of progress in 1984 when Schmidt removed the window coverings, defying the long-standing expectation that gay bars remain hidden from public view. Governor Tony Evers, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson, and County Executive David Crowley presented Schmidt with a civic recognition during a reunion celebration at La Cage in Walker's Point. Schmidt now lives in California and returns to Milwaukee every 5 years to commemorate the club's anniversary. Earlier this year, Wisconsin also announced a historical marker at the former M&M Club site, recognizing the bar's lasting role in the state's LGBTQ history. And I wonder if Laverne and Shirley ever went to the M&M Club.
You know, we're both Chicago.
Yeah.
Milwaukee was a suburb.
Yeah, we used to go all the time.
I don't recall going to M&M Club.
Seriously? Great place because they had also served food. So it was a sweet little bar right on the corner. Really great place. I mean, we would go there all the time. And actually, I think Milwaukee's kind of an underrated city.
It is.
It's got one of the most amazing art museums. It's a stunning lakefront. And it's nice to see that a city like Milwaukee is honoring a queer pioneer.
It is full of nothing but happy days.
You ever been to Milwaukee?
Yes.
It's really sweet, isn't it?
And my cousin lives in Waukesha.
Well, there you go, nearby,
Everyone knows
exactly.
Waukesha.
And be sure to get your cheese curds while you're up there. That is an LGBTQ 1 Minute news story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute news. Let's queer up the USA view. A man was arrested months after alleged anti-LGBTQ hate crime against a 12-year-old Manhattan boy. A 37-year-old man has been arrested in connection with alleged anti-LGBTQ hate crime involving a 12-year-old boy near a Manhattan playground. According to NYPD, Kevin Maxwell allegedly approached the child outside a public restroom at a Baruch playground on the Lower East Side on April 29th and shouted anti-gay slurs and struck him with a belt. The boy sustained minor injuries and the suspect fled the scene. Police received a sketch of the suspect, and a month later Maxwell was arrested on Sunday, July 5th. He faces multiple charges, including 2 counts of hate crime assault acting in manner injurious to a child, hate crime menacing, and just plain menacing. Arrest records show Maxwell is being held on a $30,000 bond. Prosecutors are pursuing a cause as alleged hate crime because of the reported anti-LGBTQ language used during the attack. This is vile. This is vile. Taking a 12-year-old for anti-gay stuff. What is this man hiding himself? This is hope he gets the mental health care that he needs.
Yeah.
Yep. And a straight white male terrorizing people at a public restroom.
Wasn't brown, wasn't trans.
Yeah.
And what did he have? His belt in his hand? He took his belt. What the fuck is that about? But I am glad to hear that an arrest was made. May he enjoy his time. That is an LGBTQ 1 Minute news story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight. These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ+ digital television show in the world. The world is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support if our community is to grow and then thrive. We must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Gregg Shapiro, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, Reverend Robert Hadley and Luis Rodriguez. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ+ world, we wish you a good night.